I am now ready for interpellation. May I ask the Majority Leader to please identify who is going to interpellate his representation from Bicol and Quezon City.
From the candidate headline, school, paper, organ.
Okay, good evening, sir. So let's put it this way. It has been a tradition in our country, sir, that politicians will promise now, and then, of course, since we put it in a journalistic point of view, there are many politicians who are running. They promise, they give us sweet promises that the country would be better in their reign. But then again, sir, it has been also an evident fact that majority of the Filipinos are not seeing what the improvements. Now my question, sir, given with all those platforms and political agenda that you've given to us, it has been reiterated, sir, I hope you won't be offended by this, sir, but it has been reiterated by most of the politicians during the previous years and maybe now. Now, sir, my question is, it is not really an objective question, but it might be a subjective question for you, sir. What difference, sir, at least what difference can you make, sir, to break this traditional politicians, sir, or the traditional campaigning that politicians will promise now, then break it later? So, at least, sir, those persons or those Filipinos, sir, can really feel that in your time, sir, and hopefully, if you would win, sir, how can you guarantee us that Philippines, or in an idealistic point of view, that you can give us the difference, sir, that would defeat us from the traditional politics here in our country? So that's just...
Thank you. Mine was not a promise, it was a certainty. Mine is not a promise, it is a vow, because I covenant myself with you and the Filipino people. I would like to attack this question by looking at it from various perspectives. First, alam nyo yung ganyang tanong already reflects, no, the defeatist mentality of our people. Ilang panahon na silang pinangakuan, ganun pa rin. Look at those who are in the Senate right now. These are the same names na nangako sa inyo pero inalala ninyo. Hindi ba kayo nagsawa? Di ba? Tapos nagre-reklamo tayo ngayon. We have already become defeatist. The level of cynicism is so high. And I am very much, I am very saddened to notice that every now and then. Kasi yung cynicism, we are already cynical. We already refuse to trust because our trust has been betrayed over and over again. And that is sad. Why? Because if we allow cynicism to paralyze us, to grip us in fear, we can never hope for a better tomorrow. Because now, even as now, we have already succumbed to the defeatist attitude that nothing will happen in this country. That is from that perspective. Second, if your query is how different is Manuel Yasos, look at my personal background. Kasi marami sa mga nangako naging corrupt. Tama? Maraming mga idealistic. Si Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago noong 1992. Anti-graft buster siya. Reformer. Si Honasan, ang dami niyan. Lahat yan. No? But what happened? Look at the personal background of the person. Makikita mo yan kung talagang tao nagbabago. Hindi sa akin kaiba itong politika. Dahil kung gusto ko magnakaw noong pa, si Atty. Yasos hindi bobo, no? Hindi sa pagmamayabang, may utak, cum laude graduate. What does that mean? I graduated in UP College of Law. I could have earned much. But why am I not very well off now? Because it is not in my makeup or constitution to enrich myself at the expense of other people. So you can look at my personal background. You go to my house in Bicol, even my family are angry at me because I cannot build them a better house. When I was in the Department of Agrarian Reform, may isang representative ng asyendero dito sa Mindanao na ang kanilang hektarya ng plantation ng pinya at ng saging ay umaabot sa 500 hectares. Ilan ang retention limit under the CARP? 5 hectares lamang. Kung kinarp yun, goodbye sa 500 hectares mo, no? Sa 495 hectares mo, magkaka-plantation ka pa ba ng 5 hectares lang? Hindi na. Anong ginawa ng mama? Pumasok sa opisina ng DAP, diretso sa tanggapan ko, executive assistant ako, number 2 ako. Bakit nakapasok? Ibig sabihin, may mga tao doon nakakutsaba na. Tinanong niya ako, ikaw sir ang may hawak ng kaso ng hasyenda ganito, ganyan. Bakit niya nalaman? Ibig sabihin, sa bureaucracia may nag-squill. You see? The bottom line of the story, dahil alam niya kung may hawak ng kaso, nag-50-50 ang botohan, ang mag-break ng tie yung sekretary. Ang sekretary ayaw mag-break ng tie. Bakit? Kasi politiko. Kapag brinake niya ang tie in favor of the farmers, mawawalan siya ng campaign fund galing sa mga landowners. Pag bumoto siya in favor of the landowners, wala siyang boto galing sa magsasaka. That's how they do that in the government. Anong ginawa ng mama? Nung paalis na, matapos akong kausapin, nagbigay sa akin ng envelope, brown envelope, makapal. Tinignan kong ang laman. Naku, saan pag-shopping? Ang dami. Ang dami. Sana talagang yung aking pay envelope. Ganito lang kalit. Yung brown envelope na long, puno. Siguro hindi bababa sa 100,000 or even more. No? Kalkula ko lang. Binagay sa table ko. Cold cash. Sabi niya, sir, pangkapi mo. Pwede na akong bumili ng Starbucks outlet niyan eh. Diba? Kung pangkapi ko yan, siguro hanggang ngayon gising pa ako. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-shabu. Oh. Alam mo, mga kapatid, alam niyo ba yung feeling na harap-harapan na binabayaran? Kung ang moral, alam mo, ay intact, manginginig ka. Mga katal, yung bibig, yung talaga iba, mag-iinit ka. You know? Ganun, kapag morally intact ka, tapos harap-harapan kang binabride, manginginig ka. Bakit? You will feel insulted that you are for sale. Sabi ko, hindi ako nagkakape. Although biro lang yun, hindi man talaga totoo, nagkakape talaga ako. But the point is, why are you giving me that? I don't need it. Take it back. No? Nag-iba ang sinabi. Sabi sa akin yung representative ng hacienda, hindi ka napapangalanan. No? Kung ganun sir, bobo kasi, sinabi na hindi nagkakape, akala niya literal. Kung ganun sir, panggasolina mo. Sabi ko sa kanya, wala akong kotse. Hinihintay ko na lang, ganun po ba sir? Anong kotse gusto mo? Sige, mag-usap tayo. Biro lang mo yun. Ibig sabihin ganon, I could have had the opportunity but I did not. Question, if that scenario presents again in the future, I know how to handle with it. Being there, done that. Okay. Second, si Attorney Yasos, and I graduated from the UP College of Law. I stayed first at the University of the Philippines Law Center as a legal education specialist in the Institute of International Legal Studies. After that, I wanted to have a life outside of UP. I was hired by a multinational company. And if it's a multinational company, you know how many digits the salary is per month, plus the perks. I don't even ask about how much the salary is. I'm just concerned about the perks. Because they are more than the salary. Kasi sa corporate world, may tax shield. Hindi sinasama sa sweldo mo, pero pinapalabas nila na ibang clothing allowance para hindi matax. Okay? Alam po ba ninyo kung ano yung company na yon that hired me? The name is International Thunderbird Gaming Corporation. It is a casino corporation. Casino, hello, maraming pera. Okay. I was hired. And at the time, I was a very strong, committed Christian. Catholic apologist. For me, that was a job that was offered. But when I took my faith seriously, sabi ko, I cannot reconcile being a man of God and of the church and working in a casino. After 6 months, I did not renew my contract. No? Hindi ko na kailangan kumayod ng gusto. Buhay nga ako at ang pamilya ko. Kaya galit na galit sa akin eh. You see, I could have had the opportunity to be rich and famous. But I did not. When I was in that casino business, I was the legal counsel, corporate counsel. I was the one approving, no? What we call as yung sa import, anong tawag doon sa mga broker, import broker. Kapag yung import broker, nasa listahan niya, pipili ka kung sino i-hire mo. Alam niyo ba, that is a source of corruption if you have the discretion. Pipili ka dun sa listahan. Pwede kong gawin, tatawagan ko, broker A. Hello? Oh, eto, meron tayo ditong kontrata ha. Kukunin ka namin. Ilang beses kami may export sa buong taon. Habang nakakontrata ka sa amin, buhay ka na. Hindi mo na kailangan maghanap pa ng ibang kliyente. Dito pa lang. Year in and year out ang aming baraka, pumapasok, mga casino para pernalya. Alam niyo sa casino, hindi nag-uulit ng deal ng baraka yan. Sinishred pakatapos ng isang laro. So maraming import yan. Anong sasabihin ko sa broker? Etong bank account ko. Pasukan lang 10% yan. Yung kontrata natin, 10 million. 1 million sa akin. May susunod pa naman eh. Alam mo yung mga broker, hindi magdadalawang isip, baka doblihin pa. Ay sir, 1 million lang. Pa yan. 2 million na. I could have done that. You see? Get my point? It has something to do with who you are. That in this world, there are some people who cannot compromise their moral standing. That is from a personal point of view. But on the institutional point of view, the problem with Philippine politics is this. There is no party system. Amen? The party must have party discipline. The party must have principles. So if a member does not comply with the party stand, that member can be expelled and shamed for life and will not be accepted by other parties because he is a shame in the society. We don't have that here in the Philippines. Kung meron tayong party system, yung politiko hindi mamumurakot. Titindig siya sa prinsipyo. Tatakot siya sa paghusga ng party members. Wala tayo nun. Instead, what we have is an aggregation of coalitions, no? They have nothing in common, walang party principle, except kinukuha, no? Kasi malakas. Tingnan nyo ngayong 2013. Si Noynoy, si Enrile, si Erac, si Binay, para silang si Bob Arum. Promoter ng sports, kinuha yung malakas ang libera, kumuha ng malakas yung ano, kahit hindi naman pare-parehas ang pananaw sa buhay. Sige, ilaban natin. Ginawang Manny Pacquiao. Kaya kagaya ni Manny Pacquiao, sana naman manakaw sa election. Okay? So yun ang sagot ko. Both from the personal and at the same time institutional parameters, no? That can assure and guarantee that my pledge of love will not be broken.